Welcome, welcome, welcome. As promised, we are starting with the leftover chicken stock or the chicken stock we made from our last video, and we're gonna make a chicken and sausage gumbo on this extremely cold weather that we're having. I do my chicken and sausage gumbo, pretty easy, just like everything else I do. This is my lazy way of doing my gumbo. Obviously, if I wanted to make this at the best of my ability, I would get fresh Holy Trinity, which of course is onions, bell peppers, and celery, and the pope, which is the garlic. But for me, I'm just going with Guidry's today. I did have some fresh chicken stock though, so, again, if you watched my last video, if you haven't checked that out, please go back and watch it. We'll link it below. But fresh chicken stock is so easy to make. So perfect. I have just several quarts in the freezer just ready to go. So this is already done. It's pretty easy. Also, if I wanted to make this like to the best of my ability, I'm going to take the sausage, my chicken, and I'm going to go out to the smoker. I'm going to smoke my sausage and my chicken and come back and have a smoked chicken and sausage gumbo. But I'm going to keep my ingredients pretty light today. So I got some Guidry's with the Trinity chicken stock that I made last week. I have some parsley, green onions, boneless chicken thighs. I have some oil and some pork sausage. If you want to use whatever sausage you want, use it. I like this sausage. If you want to use andouille, use it. Andouille's okay. Again, this is a nice weekend. It's freezing outside. It's raining. I don't want to go cook outside. I just want to make a quick chicken and sausage gumbo. And my wife tells me everything that I throw together is typically the best meals I cook. And again, that follows the motto. So this should be pretty easy. However you want to cut your chicken and your sausage to start is completely up to you. There's a few different ways to break down a piece of sausage. For me, I like to keep things simple and do just little half moons or do full moons like this. If you wanted to do a half moon, you would obviously cut it lengthways and then go down. Personally, I like a full bite in my sausage. I'm using about 2 pounds of sausage here and about 1.5 pounds, close to 2 pounds of chicken. We are going to be using some of the chicken that we had from our leftover chicken stock. I froze it. So we will be using that as well. The way I do my chicken is I brown my meat. So I always start with my sausage because my sausage is going to release grease. And then I'm going to go in with my chicken, put it in there. And then on a separate pot, on a cast iron, I'm going to have my roux going. And I like to cook my roux fast and hot. So I'm going to have 2 things simultaneously going at the same time. That way everything comes together pretty quickly. This is the most tedious part. My boneless chicken thighs that I'm going to be cutting up, I'm just going to honestly not even mess with them. I don't even waste my time taking off the fat or anything because it's going to simmer down and reduce in the pot, and I'm going to brown them. So all I'm doing now is simply cutting up the sausage how I like. I recommend you cutting up your sausage however you like. I will say down in Cajun country, everyone has 1,000 different ways to cook one different meal. I mean, you'll see that with crawfish, boiled crawfish, potato salad, chicken and sausage gumbo, seafood gumbo, gumbo in particular. There's 1,000 different ways to come to the end result. And they're all great, and everyone has their own personal reason to do it. Their mom, their dad, their grandparents did it X way, and you want to follow that. That's awesome. I want you to follow whatever recipe you have, and then if I can teach you anything along the way, that is what my goal would be. And now we're going to transition from here to the stove, and we're going to get everything going pretty quickly. It'll probably take about 30 minutes before we add in this chicken stock and let it to simmer for 2 to 3 hours. Like I said, I haul with this chicken and sausage gumbo. The seasons are pretty standard. I'll go over those when we're ready, and then we'll kind of go from the end. The biggest thing I will say, which may be controversial, but I just leave my chicken thighs whole. And then what I do is I brown them. You can season them before you put them in the pot, and I'm gonna season them with some Tony's. You can season them whenever you like. I like boneless chicken thighs, and I'll hit the backside when I flip. I'm just gonna hit them with some Tony's. I'm gonna go in the pot, skin side down, where they would be. This is boneless and skinless chicken thighs, but you would put it meat side down where the skin would be. And I just let it get crisp so I can develop a nice fine on the bottom of the pot. I then take them out and let it sit. 30 minutes before the end of the cook, I'm adding in my chicken. I'm gonna cube them up at the end and then throw them in about 30 minutes before we finish this cook. So I find if you put them in any sooner, you're gonna continuously stir the pot and may stick, and then you're gonna have shredded chicken. Now, if you like shredded chicken and chunk chicken in there as well, do half and half. Sometimes I don't mind a little shredded chicken in my gumbo. I think it tastes good with it. But for me, this is how I do it. I find it's the easiest way, and I don't mind being lazy with my gumbo because I know this is gonna come out fabulous. All right, well, that's it. That's my prep. Now, you wanna have at least 2 bowls waiting so you're not trapped when you start your roux. Because once you start your roux, you're gonna have to, you can't move from your roux, right? So when your roux's gone, you want to start and finish it in one sitting. So what I always recommend, if you don't have Guidry's, you have your onions, your bell peppers, and your celery, or your Holy Trinity cut up, ready to go in a bowl. Once when you get your roux to your consistency and color that you like, go ahead and throw in your Trinity to stop the cooking so it won't burn. You can set it to the side, continuing with your chicken and your sausage, browning it how you want, and getting that all nice and happy. That way your roux's done. Now you're just solely focusing on the pot, and you can buy yourself a lot of time with that. So prep is important. So I already have a nice bowl for my sausage. So my sausage is gonna go in, and then it's gonna come out, and then I'm gonna throw my chicken in there, and then honestly I'm just gonna use the same bowl since we're already gonna be cooking the chicken. And also all we wanna do is just get a nice brown on that chicken. All right, I'm gonna hydrate for a second, and then we're gonna meet over here. So right now, I have both of my skillets, or both of my pots, on preheating. I'm gonna have my cast iron on medium to high heat, and then I'm gonna have my pot where I'm gonna go in with my sausage at medium to low heat, okay? People are scared when they do their roux. And a lot of people have messed up roux. I am by no means the best roux maker out there. I go hot and fast. A lot of people go slow and low. Forget all that. I'm gonna go hot and fast. I'm gonna get the consistency and color that I like. I use a 1-to-1 ratio on my roux. So I mean, I use a cup of oil, and I'm using pure vegetable oil today. You can use butter or whatever fat you want. So I'm gonna go 1-to-1. Oil and flour. And I'm gonna take a roux stick, put it in here. Don't be afraid or don't be skeptical to add a little bit more flour throughout the cook. Again, you want it to the consistency you like. Okay, but I'm gonna do this simultaneously on my cook. I have this going, this is getting heated up, and I have this right here, my pot. I'm just gonna add a little bit more vegetable oil, about a tablespoon or 2, and I'm gonna wait till that's shimmering, okay? You don't need much oil or any fat in here because again, those sausages are gonna release a lot of fat. Okay. Now remember, the oil's in. We're now binded to the pot. Have your Trinity ready. Have a towel on hand, because if you need to grab something, you don't want to grab yourself, wear an apron just in case you get splashed. This is going to be hot. Again, I'm on the fast and higher side. If you find that your roux is getting too hot, knock your flame down. Or if you're using an electric stove, knock that down. Be one with the pot. But I'm going to let this get shimmering. All right. So we're gonna just bring this up to temp. I'm gonna wait till my Earl simmering, and then right now I'm just gonna add in my sausage. Okay. Again, I'm gonna keep my pot here, and I'm gonna keep my Guidry's on hand. Don't be afraid to come in with a little Tony's on that bad boy. Like I said, want your towel, just give that a little stir. This has time. You're gonna be here about 10-20 minutes on this, so you don't need to rush too much. So our goal is to brown our sausage. We don't have to do it in lightning speed. But some people on the roux can take 45 to an hour on that roux, and that's just too long and ridiculous. And ain't nobody got time for all that. So I'm just gonna come on in with my roux. We can tell that it's good and ready. I might do half of it and then give it, want to break it up, okay? I'm gonna break up that roux. Again, I'm not afraid of the roux. Keep that bad boy medium to high, okay? Like I said, I definitely would probably come in from about a tablespoon or two more of flour, just depending. Now I will drop my temperature down. You'll see me drop my temperature up and down on this roux. And I'm just using anything burns, smells, sticking, anything to let me know that maybe my roux is heated too quickly. Right now I'm just getting all the lumps out. Again, if you really want to know how long I've cooked a roux, it's about a beer. I usually take about a beer to cook my roux. Other than that, I'm not, it's too many beers. I think this is a little loose, but it's not bad. Okay? It's not bad. Now, have you another spoon ready to go. Now what we want here is we want to develop some good fine. Now fine is the brown stuff that sticks to the bottom of the pot. We're going to deglaze it. And then we're going to get that fine up, and that's that fire flavor. All right. So again, I think this is a little too low. I want this pretty rapidly boiling. And I do think I can use a table or two more of flour. So I'm going to just come in here. Get you bam. Okay? Now we're going to work that in. Now again, the most important part is have your Trinity ready. Because when this is the consistency you like, you're going to turn that bad boy off, and then we can just focus on this. I think that the sausage in here is good. Again, every once in a while, just get it happy. Pork sausage is always cooked, So all we're doing is just getting a brown flavor on there. I'll hit some with some Tonys as well. All right, I love the roux consistency here. I think this is a perfect amount of flour to oil ratio. And remember, I said about a beer. So it's important to drink while you cook your roux. My heat is past medium on the high side. I'm definitely medium to high. I may even kick it up a little bit more. But I like the way everything's cooking here. Everything just looks happy. We have a pancake consistency right now. And what we hope to do is get this reduced and get it past a caramel in the chocolate color. That's when we know it's going to be there. So I'm going to knock up my heat just a little bit more. Because again, I'll go hot and fast. I ain't scared. I'm on medium to high heat, or medium to low heat. I'm on medium low heat on the sausage. You see how all this is pulling away just like that? That was perfect consistency. But again, remember when I said you're bonded to this. So once you start, there ain't no leaving until you put that Trinity in. See how this is already reducing down, changing colors? That's what we want. That's that fire. Now I'm smoking. I'm starting to smoke, so I just want to pay attention to my smoke point. This is exactly what you want right yonder. I tell you who would be proud of this roux would be Emerald. Are you just notice the color? We're getting to a good caramel color here. Now my roux started to cool down a little bit. I'm gonna hit that fire back up. Again, you can fluctuate your fire. You want it, it's gonna go like this. That's okay. The sausage is still getting happy. Whatever you like for your sausage, however you like them, whatever consistency you like, get it out. I'm gonna turn this roux down a little bit because at some point, let's talk about how much roux you need. I think for a family of 4, a cup of roux is just fine, cup and a half. If you're doing a big pot, you know, feeding 10 to 15 people, you obviously want to go up to 2.5 on your roux. Another really good thing I like cooking roux in a cast iron pot is it's just designed to hold heat. So it's a little bit more forgiving for you cooking the roux in a Teflon skillet that can easily burn. It's good and has a beautiful non-stick. If you have your cast iron seasoned properly. I'd like that a little darker, but that's not bad. Now, look at the amount of grease that released from this sausage. That's why I like to do this first. My roux is still getting good, but I'm going to just come on in here. And look, I added my chicken. Remember, I already hit the front side of it with some Tonys. I'm going to hit the back side of it with some Tonys. I'm going to, again, just focus on both. Look, if this intimidates you going simultaneous pots, don't do it. Cook your roux, add your Trinity. When you're done, set it to the side. Come to your pot, add your chicken, add your sausage, or excuse me, add your sausage, add your chicken, then add your roux in and go from there. For me, I can do it simultaneously. Now I'm gonna just break up this chicken. I just wanna get it laying flat, okay? Did that, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more. That's it, guys. We're just gonna let this get happy. Medium to high heat. This is almost done. This is pretty dark, honestly. Not mad at this roux right here. This roux will get the job done. You got that good flavor right here. All right. So I'm going to cut off this. Look, that was under 15 minutes that we did this roux. And then because we're lazy and it's raining and it's 40 below, we're going to add this. All right, word of caution. Adding frozen seasoning or seasoning that's cold to this molten lava is extreme. It will burn the heck out of you, so be extremely careful. Actually, in looking at it, I do want some of this oil to reduce out. So I'm gonna hit it hard with one good high heat for about 3 or 4 minutes. And I'm gonna make sure I stir the heck out of it. All right, fire's off. I'm gonna go half this in here. Half my Guidry's is in. I'm gonna just stir this around. And look, if you want, you can push it off the flame. I don't really think it's necessary. This is gonna stop cooking. And this is gonna be good. All right, definitely come back and stir it every now and then, but as of right now, our roux is taken care of. Our chicken's ready to come out. We don't need it to get to 180 degrees or 165 degrees because we are going to, you know, put it back in about 30 minutes to the end. So you can see on the bottom of this pot, we got nothing but fond in here. Now we want this to come up. This is all flavor right here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take the rest of this Guidry's and we're gonna pour it in there, okay? Now, this fond is getting pretty stuck on there, so I'm not afraid to take a little beer and put it in there to get this up. I want a clean bottom on the bottom of this pot. Then we're gonna come in with our seasonings and we're gonna be fire. You know, we're gonna scrape the hell out of it. All right, see, that's perfect. Now, bang. Our beautiful chicken stock we made. Watch this. Look at that chicken stock. That's how you know that that's some fire chicken stock. all that collagen turned into gelatin. This is a perfect chicken stock right here. I don't think it gets any better. So I want this to come to a boil. So then in the interim, we're gonna do some seasoning. Season how you like. Remember, 2 important things. There are 1,000 different recipes that everyone has in Cajun land, so follow the recipe and seasonings that you love, okay? I have no problem with that. Number 2, this ain't competition. Nobody's judging your meal. It's for you and your family. So, cook it how you like. Don't be tough on yourself. And that's what's important. I'm going in with some garlic powder. I don't have a measure. I just throw that shit in there. Why? Because I don't have a measure. All right, so then we're gonna go hit it with some oregano. And I like to do this all up front, okay? So I'm going in with some thyme. Again, a couple tablespoons or teaspoons each, however you want. Onion powder, 2 tablespoons. Garlic powder, 2 tablespoons. Thyme, oregano, 2 teaspoons. Remember, we already got Tony's in there. I'm gonna go with a teaspoon of cayenne. You can always add more cayenne, so be careful. Now, I went to Red Stick Spice, and if you haven't been there, I truly encourage you to go. But I got this salt-free gumbo seasoning right here. Now, I love that this is salt-free because my chicken stocks, rather, has salt in it. Tony's has salt in it, but that's the only other salt I have. I control my salt my way, so I use unsalted butter, which has a higher smoke point. And I love that this is salt-free because I don't have to worry about my salt. Again, I can control the salt that I put in there. And we're gonna add some at the end. But I have never used this before. It smells delicious. So all this is a gumbo seasoning. Let's see, we got onion, garlic, green bell peppers, black pepper, celery, spices. That's pretty fire. No salt in there. Let's throw that in there. That'll be delicious. Never used it. All right, and then we're gonna come in with some black pepper. Okay? Always love the black pepper. That's some good fire. You can go as heavy as you like on the black pepper. I'll go pretty heavy. And the smell is already unbelievable. This is the most important part, and I cannot stress this enough. Be very careful when it's time to go in for your roux. It is time. My pot's seasoned. I'm ready to get this show on the road. 2 things. When you add this roux in here, it can have a reaction, and it can splash up, and it can burn you. So just be careful. Number 2, your roux has its full thickening power at boiling point. Okay? So you want your pot to come to a boil, add your roux in carefully. We know that the pot's at a boil, and we know it's gonna thicken up to where we like it. If we want it thicker later, add a little slurry, but for now, we're boiling. I'm gonna add this in. Actually, I'm gonna use one of these just because it's easier to break that roux up in there, okay? I don't wanna go in with any sausage or chicken, but that roux tends to clunk together, so we just wanna add it in slowly, in batches, okay? Come back. Add another section. Bang. Okay? Boom. Come in here. We're boiling. We're going to bring this roux. It's thick, so we want to make sure we get all of our corners and crevices. This is already thickening. It already smells delicious. Now, just word of caution, just be careful. You know, this is boiling, and roux tends to stick, so, you know, once you get all your come back up to a boil, lower your temperature. You know, be one with your pot. But this is looking perfect. Perfect. Look how thick it's gotten. Look at the texture. This could not be a better consistency, a better color. This looks like we added chicken bouquet in there. We didn't. All right. Now I'm gonna bring this down to a low sim, because we about done, folk. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of my spoons here, and I'm just gonna feel for any lumps. I don't see any, so I think we did a good job. All right, bang, we're gonna go in with our sausage. Go away from you. Put them in, give that a stir. Now, it does look thick. I ain't gonna even cap. I think it is a little thick. So I think I'm gonna add a quart of water. And I just need that to reduce down. And then I'm gonna start tasting in about an hour and a half or two. So let's add our quart of water, see what consistency we are. Get this back up to a simmer, top it, and leave it alone for an hour and a half. You wanna come back, stir it every 20 minutes or so, make sure it's happy. But you're gonna get this back up to a simmer, let it simmer, and you're good. And don't be afraid to add this water, okay? This is gonna reduce down. Ain't nothing to it. Look at that color. Holy shit. That's unbelievable. All right, I do have 3 more ingredients I want to talk about. Green onions, parsley. Talk about that. And then some gumbo filet. When do you add them? Well, and what my dad has taught me is at the end, filet is a garnish. Green onion is a garnish. Parsley is a garnish. But I've seen him add parsley and green onions in the cook, so half and half. So half the parsley, half the green onions while it's cooking, and then maybe 10 minutes right where you're adding in your chicken back in, add in your parsley and your green onions together, and then your filet, let it simmer for 10-20 more minutes. Good to feed. If you'd like more parsley or gumbo filet on the end of the garnish, great. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna let it simmer today. Again, add your seasons whenever you wanna add them. For me, I'm gonna do it towards the end because I wanna use my parsley and my green onions and my filet as garnishes. The only thing I may do is actually use some of the parsley throughout the cook and just garnish with green onions and filet. All right, so while this is coming back up to a boil after I added my water in there, because again, I wanted the consistency I liked, it's important that we make sure that we're stirring every now and then. Remember, you just added in that roux, and it's very, very possible that the roux can settle back down and start sticking. So I like to use this flat bottom spoon here to really get on the bottom. Okay though, but we're pretty much done. The only thing I can do now, it's too soon to taste, the only thing I can do now is let it come up to a simmer for an hour and a half. We really want to just get that roux flavor out, start tasting it for seasonings. Again, add whatever seasonings you like. I'm gonna cover this all the way. Stir it every 20-30 minutes. In between, we have been simmering for about an hour and a half. I have tasted for seasoning. I have tasted for roux flavor. Roux flavor has cooked out. Seasoning is good. Adjust your seasoning as you wish. I'm about to go in with 3 more ingredients, all of which we've already talked about. I just cubed up my chicken. You can see here, I just cubed it up very roughly. Cut it up however you like. I like it chunky. My wife likes it chunky. Green onions, parsley, okay? So I'm just gonna go all in there. Again, we're about 10 minutes away from being done with this bad boy. And we're gonna put 2 more ingredients that's gonna bring out that fire flavor. I'm going Louisiana hot sauce. Give it a good shake. You don't have to put hot sauce in there if you don't want to. I think it's fire. And then I'm gonna go in with this filet. I'm gonna just sprinkle some filet in there. I don't know what it does either, and it's none of my business. I'm gonna just put it in there. And folks, we're just gonna let that chicken come back up to temp. This could be served right now. This is a chicken and sausage gumbo. Low cost, low maintenance. The star of the show is gonna be that chicken stock that we made. It really just sets it apart. Making your own roux sets it apart, but that chicken stock, a lot of flavors are coming from it. We are harnessing that. This is great. Now look, this is my perfect consistency. I love it this thick. If you think it's too thick right here, add in some water, adjust seasoning. Get it to the consistency you like. To be honest, folks, there's nothing else to do with this gumbo but let it sit here for 10-15 more minutes and serve it. There's 2 ways to serve it. Whether you like your potato salad on the side or in the gumbo, that's up to you. Let me know in the comments, but I love it inside the gumbo myself. I think is the best. So winter storm is coming. Maybe this will be a perfect dish for you guys to cook. Again, it's pretty easy. I think the star of the show though is the chicken stock that we made. And that, you know, this is just one perfect example of how we can use the chicken stock. I love it. I think it's great. I think it totally brings it up a notch. Making your own roux is also great. It took under 2.5 hours to do, maybe 30 minutes of prep. To be honest, the longest part is cutting up your sausage and making your roux. Once when that's done, it kind of all flows together pretty quickly. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you stay warm, stay safe. Big shout out to my wife for putting all this together. She gets all my camera angles right, edits the video, comes up with everything. So I'm super lucky just to be able to point and shoot for that. And then to end it, check me out on YouTube. I go into a little bit more depth of what you would see on Instagram or TikTok. So I appreciate if you liked or subscribed to my YouTube channel. And look, guys, if you want to see anything next, if you want me to cook more barbecue videos, maybe more videos in here, whatever you want, if you're thinking about something that you like cooking and you want me to take a stab at it to see if I can do it any better, let me know. I'm happy to do that. Well, guys, thank you. This is it. Hope y'all stay warm. Till next time.